So the objectives for today are to know how to simplify rational expressions, add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational expressions, solve rational equations and check for extraneous solutions, and analyze rational functions, and find the vertical asymptote in wholes. Simplifying rational expressions. In order to simplify rational expressions, you first factor out the numerator and denominator, cancel out any common factors, and the expression becomes undefined when the denominator is equal to 0. So find whatever value will make the denominator equal to 0. So set it to 0. So our first problem is 8x minus 8 over 12x minus 40. So we can factor this to 4 times 2x minus 2, and we can factor out a 4 in the denominator as well, 4 times 3x minus 10. So once the 4's cancel out, we get 2x minus 2 over 3x minus 10. And to find what would make the solution undefined, you will set 3x minus 10 to 0. 3x is equal to 10. X is equal to 10 over 3. So our second problem is x squared minus 3x minus 40 over x squared minus 11x plus 24. So let's break this down. The numerator is x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 40, and that's just x minus 8 times x plus 5. And the denominator is x squared minus 8x minus 3x plus 24, and that's just x minus 8 times x minus 3. Now we're going to learn how to add and subtract rational expressions. So first find the common denominator, combine the fractions, and then just simplify. In the problem 7m over m minus 3 plus 5m over 3 minus m, we can see that if you multiply 3 minus m by negative 1, this would be negative 3 plus m, which is m minus 3. So that's our common denominator. So once we multiply 5m over 3 minus m by negative 1, this will get the common denominator, and we can do 7m minus 5m over m minus 3, and that's equal to 2m over m minus 3. Our next problem is subtraction. B squared over b squared minus 2bc plus c squared minus b over b minus c. So first factor that long denominator. B squared minus 2bc plus c squared is b squared minus bc plus c squared. So b times b minus c times b minus c, which is just b minus c squared. B minus c times b minus c will get b minus c squared. Now you're just going to multiply the b over b minus c by b minus c in order to get the common denominator. So this will become b times b minus c over b minus c squared. So the denominators are the same now. Now we can subtract. So b squared minus b times b minus c all over b minus c squared. This would become b squared minus b squared plus bc over b minus c squared, and that's just bc over b minus c squared. For division, you first multiply the first expression by the reciprocal of the second expression. So keep, change, flip. And then you just simplify and cancel out any common factors. So 4x plus 12 over 16x divided by x squared minus 9 over x squared minus x minus 6. This becomes 4x plus 12 over 16x times, and then remember we're flipping, so the denominator will be on top, x squared minus x minus 6, over the numerator, which is now the denominator, x squared minus 9. So we're going to factor out the 4 from 4x plus 12, which is 4 times x plus 3, and we can't do anything to 16x. Now we can factor out x squared minus x minus 6. That's x minus 3 times x plus 2. And we can factor out now we can factor out x squared minus 9. That's x minus 3 times x plus 3. We can cancel out common factors, so this becomes 1 over 4x and x plus 2 over 1. So multiply those to get x plus 2 over 4x. Now multiplying. All you have to do is multiply the numerators and denominators together, and then just simplify and cancel out common factors. So in our problem, 6a over 3a plus 15 times 4a plus 20 over 2a squared, this becomes 6a over 3 times a plus 5 times 4 times a plus 5 over 2a squared. And now we could cancel out. So the 6 divided by 3 is 2, and the 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. We can cancel out a plus 5. 4 divided by 2 becomes 2. 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. And we can factor out the a. So that's just 2 over 1 times 2 over a. That's 4a. Solving rational equations. So first, note any values of the variable that make the denominator 0. Remember, the variable will just be like x or something. Then you have to find the least common denominator. Then multiply the numerators and denominators by the expression, which allows the denominator to reach the least common denominator. So like, what's going to get you to the least common denominator? And then just solve and check. In the equation, 7 over b plus 3 plus 5 over b minus 3, this is equal to 10b minus 2 over b squared minus 9. So first, let's find any values that make the denominator 0. b plus 3 is not equal to 0, so b is not equal to negative 3. b minus 3 is not equal to 0, so b is not equal to 3. b squared minus 9 is not equal to 0, so b squared is not equal to 9, so b is not equal to plus or minus 3. And let's note that b squared minus 9 is b plus 3 times b minus 3. The equation becomes 7 over b plus 3 plus 5 over b minus 3 is 10b minus 2 over b plus 3 times b minus 3. So as we can see, the least common denominator would be b squared minus 9. How would we get from b plus 3 to b squared minus 9? Multiply by b minus 3. How will we get from b minus 3 to b squared minus 9? Multiply by b plus 3. And 10b minus 2 will remain the same. So once we multiply that out, it will be 7b minus 21 plus 5b plus 15 minus 10b plus 2 is equal to 0, because remember, we want to move it to one side, all over b squared minus 9. Once you add all of that together, it's just 2b minus 4 over b squared minus 9, and that's equals to 0. 2b minus 4 is equal to 0. 2b is equal to 4. b is equal to 2. Remember to check by plugging in the value you get into all of the denominators. So 2 plus 3, is that equal to 0? No. 2 minus 3, is that equal to 0? Also no. And 2 squared minus 9, is that equal to 0? No. So this solution checks out. M plus 5 over m squared plus m is equal to 1 over m squared plus m minus m minus 6 over m plus 1. Least common denominator, which is m squared plus m. How will we get from m plus 1 to m squared plus m? Multiply by m. So m plus 5 over m squared plus m is equal to 1 over m squared plus m minus 6 times m over m squared plus m. M plus 5 minus 1 plus m minus 6m over m squared plus m. Combine this to get negative 5m plus 4 plus m squared over m squared plus m. M squared minus 5m plus 4 is equal to 0. Factor that out. M squared minus 4m minus 1m plus 4 is equal to 0. M minus 4 times m minus 1. So m is equal to 4 and 1. Remember to check if this satisfies the denominators. 4 squared plus 4 is not equal to 0, and 4 plus 1 is not equal to 0. 1 squared plus 1 is not equal to 0, and 1 plus 1 is not equal to 0. Analyzing rational functions. First, identify any values that make the denominator 0. We'll use those to find the domain. It would exclude any values that make the denominator 0. Cancel out common factors between the numerator and denominator, and use that to find any vertical asymptotes. After simplifying, whatever's left in the denominator, set that equal to 0, that's the vertical asymptote. And to find the horizontal asymptote, follow these rules. So if the degree of the numerator is less than the denominator, the horizontal asymptote is 0. Remember that when we're thinking about the degree, we're talking about the value of the exponent of the leading coefficient. So whatever coefficient has the highest exponent, that exponent is the number you're looking at. If the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, it is a slant asymptote. And if the degrees are equal, the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of the leading coefficients. Make sure to note any holes, so they're factors that completely cancel out, but if it cancels out and there's something left in the denominator, then that's not a hole. Our problem is y is equal to 5x squared minus 20 over x squared plus 4x plus 4. Set the denominator equal to 0. X squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. X squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. 2 plus x plus 2 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. X is not equal to negative 2. So the domain will be all real numbers, all except for negative 2. So negative infinity, comma, negative 2 to negative 2, comma, infinity. 5x squared minus 20 over x squared plus 4x plus 4. That we can factor out the 5 in the numerator. 5 times x squared minus 4. And this denominator would just be x plus 2 squared. We can cancel out the x plus 2 in the numerator and denominator. So it will be 5 times x minus 2, or 5x plus 10 over x plus 2. The vertical asymptote is what's left in the denominator. X plus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 2. So the vertical asymptote is x is equal to negative 2. And there's no hole because x plus 2 doesn't fully cancel out. When you look at the exponents, you can see the values are 1 and 1. So the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of the leading coefficients.